The CSGO market has a dark side you probably shouldn't get involved with unless you're willing to deal with the worst types of people on this planet. From scammers to cheaters to real criminals buying unicorn stickers on the marketplace with dirty illegal money. In this video, we'll be exploring many different ways criminals use CSGO items to make money, starting from the most trivial activities to ones who threaten the very existence of the Steam marketplace and the Valve Corporation itself. Yeah, told you it was gonna be dark. Anyway, grab a drink, grab a friend, get comfortable, and follow along as we explore the murkiest corners of CSGO that you're not supposed to be aware of. Oh, and by the way, legal disclaimer, don't commit crimes. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell if you enjoyed the video. Thank you. The easiest and most common way for criminals to start making money on CSGO is obviously by scamming. You guys are probably well aware of them and the methods they use. We've seen quite a few on this channel already, ranging from sending out fake trade offers, to impersonating marketplaces bots, to pretending to be reputable cash traders and convincing their victims to just send them their items. Though this last one probably requires a few months at being a scumbag to be successful. These kinds of scammers mainly use social engineering to get what they want, so basically by just exploiting vulnerabilities in the human mind, like lacking experience or being too trusting. They usually operate alone, though sometimes we can see them form groups together so they can vouch for each other, for example the infamous Georgian kids, but they rarely have any technical skills, so they're not really the sharpest tool in the sheds most of the time. Which is what makes them different from the next type of scammer on this list. I consider phishing scammers to be a little more sophisticated than the social engineers we've just talked about. Phishing operations require some actual technical knowledge, like setting up websites to steal user credentials, creating bots, automatically cancelling and resending fake trade offers to victims, and scripts that can mass send out friend requests to anybody with a somewhat valuable inventory. You can click the video on the top right if you want to see how phishing websites actually operate behind the scenes. It's also important to know that there are two types of phishing scammers. There are the site owners and the workers. The workers are those who talk directly to their victims and spread the phishing links they're provided for by the owner, who just manages the entire scamming infrastructure, so the website, the bot, and the cashing out process. Workers are usually paid a cut of whatever they manage to steal. So as you can see, that's a nice little scamming enterprise they got there, so maybe we'll see them be traded on the stock market as an actual company in a couple of years. Speaking of market, the problem with being a scammer is that it's a little too personal. Like, you're literally stealing from somebody who's probably struggling just as much as you are, just in a different country. You have to be a pretty cold motherfucker to be a successful scammer, which isn't every criminal's cup of tea. Therefore, some are more drawn in less personal activities, like market manipulation. Market manipulators would be looking for any item that's so ugly and undesirable that there's almost no demand for it, but that's still rare enough to also be in low supply. They would then buy as many of them as they could, driving the market price up artificially. Gambling and trading sites, who had pretty unsophisticated ways of pricing items on their site at the time, would see that a particular item's price had gone up on the market and would then adjust the price of said item on their site accordingly. And that's when manipulators would dump their entire supply on the site unfortunate enough to fall for the fake price, and trade it for more desirable, but most importantly, accordingly priced items. This method used to be an issue back in the days when CSGO wasn't as big as it is, but the introduction of the 7-days trade hold in 2018, gambling and trading sites using more sophisticated technology to price items accurately, and the CSGO market just growing and becoming less susceptible to blatant manipulation made it so this method isn't as profitable as it used to be. The CSGO professional scene isn't immune from morally dubious individuals looking to make a quick buck. Match fixing is basically a pro team betting against itself on an upcoming match and then intentionally throwing that game to claim the winnings from betting. The biggest match fixing scandal in the history of CSGO is, as you may know, the iBuyPower vs Netcode Guides match, where members from the iBuyPower team intentionally threw a match they were extremely favored to win, so they could win the bets they had placed against themselves on CSGO Lounge. They made in total around $10,000 from this, so each player barely made like $1,000 from the scheme. This scheme was exposed a few months later though, and every iBuyPower player except one who had not accepted his cut of the heist was permanently banned from participating in any event organized by Valve in the future, effectively destroying their careers in esports. Match fixing is obviously still an issue nowadays, but it seems to be taken more seriously by authorities now that esports is getting more mainstream attention. So yeah, good luck out there, you wanna be match fixers. For those of you who weren't aware, skins aren't designed by Valve employees, they're made by the community. If you create a skin design and upload it on the workshop, and Valve chooses to add it in their next case, you'll get a cut of the sales your skin generates on the market, which can be pretty significant if people really like it. While this process is pretty good for artists to make money off of the creation, it can also be abused by dishonest actors. For example, why do you think the Howl is the only skin in the game with a contraband quality? Well, that's because the original design was stolen. Yep, look at this. Here's what the Howl skin looks like today, and here's what it looked like originally. You can see there's a clear difference between the two. The original design was first uploaded on DeviantArt, and some random ass dude named Owlsy just saw it and decided to download it before putting it on his skin with the help of an innocent skin designer without giving the original artist any credit. So yeah, Owlsy was indeed ahead of the NFT trend. Good for him. This skin design was unfortunately chosen to be a covert skin in the Huntsman case, and Owlsy was now able to receive money for stealing somebody else's work. For about a month before the original artist saw what happened to his creation and filed a DMCA takedown against Valve for copyright violation. Valve quickly removed the skin from the case, Owlsy and the skin designer who helped him both were banned, and the Howl's design was changed to the one we see today and the contraband quality was assigned to it. And while the Howl is the most notorious story of copyright infringement in the history of CSGO because of its impact on the market, it wasn't the only time hard thieves tried to swindle the community out of money. The M4 Griffin, the AK frontside Misty, and the Just Trolling sticker were all items based on stolen artwork, and they all received the same fate as the Owl, minus the contraband part to the dismay of many market speculators. Check out this video from Jesus on the top right if you want to know more stories of stolen skin design. Gambling is an activity that notoriously fits very well with criminal activity. Online gambling? Even more. Online gambling with unregulated virtual currency, like skins? Holy Jesus baby, we've got a jackpot! Yep, virtually every CSGO gambling site operates within a grey market, with some sites going into borderline black market territory in their scumminess. For example, who remembers Team Martin and Pro Syndicates, YouTubers and streamers who were promoting their own gambling site named CSGO Lotto by pretending to only be sponsored by said site? When the actual illegal scheme got exposed, a lot of people thought these two might go to jail because of that, or at least receive huge fines as punishment. But instead they got a warning from the FTC, so basically just a slap on the wrist, and got away with it pretty much scot-free, except for a destroyed reputation and being the subject of an endless source of memes. Some other gambling sites on the other hand were just complete and utter scams. For example, CSGO Wild, which was exposed for having a fake, provably fair system to generate bet outcomes, and was using undercover bots to win bets against their own users, so effectively straight up stealing from them. When the scam was exposed on Twitter, the site got shut down pretty much immediately, stealing everyone's balance in the process obviously, and it never reopened again. Good riddance. This kind of criminal activity is probably the most severe out of everything we've seen so far. Like, don't get caught laundering money, buddy, because you'll be going to jail. There are many laws in place around the world to reduce the amount of money getting laundered, and companies caught not enforcing those laws, for example implementing AML and KYC measures on their customers, can receive huge fines and a visit from the IRS. And trust me, nobody wants a visit from the IRS. Anyway, all this to say that Valve doesn't want to mess with the government, and especially not the IRS. And so they're ready and willing to take drastic measures to reduce the amount of money laundering going on the Steam community market. So when they see a huge amount of people creating Steam accounts and buying huge amounts of CSGO keys with stolen credit card information in order to resell them and let Valve deal with the chargebacks after that, they ain't too happy about it and they're gonna do something to stop that. In 2019, for example, Valve permanently suspended the buying, selling and trading of CSGO keys on the market and between traders, just like that, out of nowhere. And I shit you not, this is what Valve said to explain this sudden decision.
Worldwide fraud networks have recently shifted to using CSGO keys to liquidate their gains. At this point, nearly all key purchases that end up being traded or sold on the marketplace are believed to be fraud sourced.
Bruh. Nearly all keys sold on the market came from credit card fraud, they said. I remember back in the days when I wanted to open some cases, I'd always buy them from the market and not from Valve directly because they were somehow cheaper on the market even though there was an intermediary between me and Valve. And even at the time when I was a dumbass, I didn't understand the economics behind it. Yeah, but I guess that we now know why.